May of 2023, I was completely burned out. I was burned out from my job, from the stress, from all of the drama going on in the office. I was stressed out from having health problems that were causing me so much pain on a day to day basis, on top of all of the overwhelm going on and all of the turnover going on in the office. So, today we're going to talk about burnout, some of the signs and symptoms of stress, and what you can do to begin that healing process. I hope you will stick around. Hi, I'm Bonita and I am early retired. I'm not old enough yet for Social Security. I'm living on a low income and I am living off of savings. I live in Kansas on a farm and I have a donkey. This is Brownie. I have frugal videos all year round, and I hope that you will join me this year as we share ways to save money and live our dreams. I mentioned a few of these symptoms in the opening, and I tried to add a few little clips to make it a little bit more entertaining and less depressing on that opening. A lot of us know that day to day grind feel, that day to day stress feel of trying to get everything done, getting out of bed and just go, go, go until it's time for bed and then do it all again tomorrow. And burnout can come from several things. It can come from being too busy, too stressed. It can come from time constraints. It can come from being short on money and struggling. There are family problems. So many things can lead to burnout. And a lot of those things combined can really snowball into burnout. And sometimes you're already into a deep stage of burnout before you even realize that you're there. And by that point, it just feels like a heavy depression that's really hard to get out of. So, some of the symptoms of burnout are overwhelm, like I mentioned, and I was feeling that. There were so many changes in my office on a day to day basis. We would have meetings and they'd say, do it this way. And then within 2 days, you'd get an email, no, we've changed our mind. We want to do it this way. Then within the week, they would change it again. Even though we had monthly meetings, things were changing on a day to day basis on how they wanted our reports done. And so you wouldn't even feel like you knew how to do your job or was an expert in your job because the changes were so different day to day. And sometimes you didn't even know when you turned your report in if you were going to have to redo it. It was just constant chaos. All the departments on that floor were struggling with turnover. You would come to work every day and another 2 or 3 people had quit. Some of them you had never even met before. And now that department is totally gone as of a few weeks ago. They lost their state contract, and all of what was left of that floor is gone. So I was feeling unmotivated. Even though I was pushing myself, it was hard to get motivated in an environment that had so much chaos. I was emotionally fatigued. I was feeling helpless, like I didn't even know how to do my own job. And cynical attitudes and negativity can slip into your mind, even though it doesn't slip out of your mouth. And what you think is so powerful. And you begin to think, is this all there is in life? Is this drama day to day to day? That was the emotional part of it. There's also physical parts that come to burnout, including headaches, chest pains, heart palpitations, digestive issues, dizziness, insomnia, eating disorders. As you can see from that picture, I was gaining weight. I wasn't eating healthy. I was eating too many carbs and relying on them as my energy source. I had insomnia. I wasn't sleeping well. So between not eating healthy and not sleeping well and trying to keep going, it was playing a toll on me. And if you look, my face was puffy. It looked swollen. I looked so unhealthy. I looked like a walking heart attack. And then there are behavioral signs of burnout, including procrastination, not wanting to get things done today if they can wait until tomorrow. Now, I didn't have that problem because I wanted to get my job done and I didn't want to have anything hanging over tomorrow that was today's work. That's never been my issue for procrastination at work. However, I can need to make a 5-minute phone call at home and put it off for 4 hours. And then when I get done, I think, man, that took 5 minutes and I took myself 4 hours to talk myself into making that call. Those are just a few things that I just don't like to do, even still. Another behavioral issue can be it's hard to get up in the morning. I had to talk myself into getting out of bed every morning. I had to lie to myself and promise myself that I could call in sick later, say that I didn't feel good if I just made it through part of the day. And I did that sometimes in 2-hour increments just to get through the end of the day. I felt like calling in every single day, and I would just have to fight myself saying, you can do this one more day. You can do this. People are relying on you. Another symptom is avoiding company gatherings. Now, I didn't avoid company gatherings. I looked forward to seeing some of my coworkers because the type of job that I had, we didn't even always see each other on a day-to-day basis in the same department. And then withdrawing from coworkers or stopping communicating with coworkers, that can be another symptom of you withdrawing within yourself because you are burned out. And then there's so many mental aspects on top of the emotional. You can feel anxiety, you can feel irritable at home and at work. You can feel like a failure, like you don't know your job, you don't know what you're doing. Are you even making a difference? It can be hard to accept criticism when you're in this state of mind, and bad dreams can also happen. And I did have those. When I would go to sleep, I would have bad dreams. And when I woke up and looked at the bad dream and what was going on, it had to do with work stress. It also can be difficult to ask for help at times when you're feeling like this. You don't want people to know that you're in such a sour state and you try to hide it. But when you get so burned out, sometimes it's really hard to hide it. And even though you think you're hiding it, you're not doing a very good job. So I knew I could not go on like this very much longer. I felt like I was to the point that I was just going to completely shut down. And because of that, I sat down and started making a plan of how I could get myself out of this situation, how I could either find another job that suited me better or even take a break from working for a while so that I could decompress. And when I first decided to take a break, I didn't think it would be until retirement. But as I started making plans and counting my money and sticking money back and doing everything I could to save a few pennies, because it was that important to me to get out of that environment, I became more hopeful about my future, more hopeful day to day about what my life might look like, more hopeful that I could change the way I thought things were going to be for a very long time. And since I quit my job, that first year, I didn't lose any weight. I was to the pound and the ounce exactly every single day. Even though I was changing what I was eating, I was moving more, I was being more active, I was decompressing, my weight didn't move. In my entire life, my weight has never done that. I'm one of those, I can jump several pounds and lose several pounds overnight, but nothing was moving, which seemed so strange to me. And then in the last few months, I've started losing weight again. In fact, it's just started falling off of me every single day that I weigh. And I started thinking about that. And I thought, how long does it take that cortisol hormone for stress to go back to normal limits? Maybe it took me that long because cortisol does affect your metabolism. It's the primary stress hormone, and elevated cortisol levels can negatively impact your metabolism, contributing to weight gain. It also can cause insulin resistance, and it can increase your appetite, slow down your metabolism, and alter how the body processes glucose and fats. It can trigger increased appetite, particularly for high sugar and high fat foods. And that was exactly what was happening to me. Even though I changed my eating habits and my activity habits, and I was feeling more positive and hopeful, my weight wasn't moving. So I think it took me like a good year and a half to decompress from that burnout. I started looking at things that I enjoyed again, maybe growing some vegetables, reading, listening to YouTubers that are my favorite that I never had time to do before, doing some camping, spending time in nature. All of these things helped me decompress. So you have to find what works for you, what you enjoy, and make a plan if you are not happy to get out of the situation that you're in. If you're financially in a bad situation, we have tons of frugal videos on this channel to help you save to get yourself back in a good position again. Sometimes when we are stressed, we spend money without thinking as much. And we're more likely to spend money to try to reward ourselves when we're in that state of mind because we need some sort of reassurance that what we're doing every single day means something, amounts to something, and that we're getting something out of it. So I encourage you, if you are feeling low, if you're feeling burnout, if you're experiencing any of these symptoms, take a close look at what's going on. Where are your stressors? And make a plan to see if you can get those back on track. Because I can tell you from my experience, it's taken me a year and a half to decompress to the point that I could even start to lose weight. Thanks for listening today. I hope this video has helped someone out there today. If it has, please come back to see me again, and I hope to see you soon.